Today we are feeding a lot of isopods. Hello creature lovers and welcome to the universe. Once again, it's this day of the month. We are doing our third monthly isopod feeding and we got a lot of new isopods since the last one. And this time we're doing things a little different, guys. We are spending a lot of time in these videos, and I think I don't need to tell you I put in a carrot, calcium, and protein. That's what I basically do all the time. I water, I put in leaf litter, moss if it's needed, lichen maybe, and carrots, calcium, and protein. So I will tell you the species, I will do my thing, and I will use the time to tell you some interesting things that are going on at the moment. So I think we start with Berries with the Panda Kings. This is a pretty new box. It was one of the two test boxes. We will change the carrots if there are no baby pandas underneath. But here are big pandas. Cleaning that up a bit. Berries I always spray a bit more. They are tropical animals or coming from tropical regions. Mostly, not all. Watering the moss once again. And as I told you, some food, some calcium, and in this case a tiny bit of protein. That will happen all the time, so we will use this time to talk about other things. First, once again, I screwed something up. Here we have the test box with the Porcellanitis pruinosus, orange. And what did I screw up? Of course, the fermented leaf litter. Why? Because I simply forgot to mix it for a few days. And it looked like I didn't dry out the leaves completely. So we had a mite infestation. Is this a problem? Nah, not really. Because we just start over again. That's not a big deal. But fact is, we start over again, so the video will take some time. I'm sorry for that, I swear. I know. It's a long time. But still in the making. Will be the video with the longest recording time, no, not recording time, producing time. Next are the Amadillidium fronte triangulum, the orange ones, where we had the colony crash in our first or the last video. And as you can see, they are pretty active. We managed to get a stabilized colony. There are about 70 animals inside. So in reality, nothing happened, but it's always disappointing when something like this happens. Bit of protein, and we water. And what came to my mind, I think the maculatum are in the same substrate. Because the reason this happened, in my opinion, is not the substrate with the leaf litter. In my opinion, the problem was the base layer, which was only compost, and the compost is pretty heavy. So I think this was the problem, and the maculatum has the same. Here is one of the overcrowded pruinosis boxes. Yes, I know, but they will all go to the test box, or a lot of them, in the next few, I want to say days, but I'm not so sure about that. Bit of leaf litter, it's tested, we know now it's safe. But for sure, this will happen over the next time, that this box will be emptied out. We did a lot of split ups in the last time. You will see that a bit later. Where is the freaking moss? It's behind there. Bit of moss, because I can see any moss here. I mean, it's pruinosis. They are really, really hardy and really easy to keep, but the box should not look like this. Bit more of leaf litter. And of course, we need to water the moss good. Besides, there is enough moisture in the bin. And you can hear it's still dry inside, so it's a bit compressed. Yeah, we did the centipede rehousing video today before this video, and it will come, I think that's a Saturday video, and the centipede video will be a Wednesday video, so next video should be centipede rehousing. You should enjoy that. I did it for the first time, and yeah, it worked, but oops, I think, yeah, I squished one. Damn. But I'm pretty sure it was the only one. Next are the pretty much selected bins. As you can see, this is not a die-off bin, this is the Levi's orange bin. I won't put that carrots out, they stay inside. We already splitted them up before the expo, and this is just a leave it and sort it out bin. We were in a rush, we had to sort out a lot of boxes. There is something that shouldn't be in here. Looks like paper or something. And since we were in a rush, we collected out the boxes for the expo. And after that, we started two new boxes, but we didn't empty out this one. So now it's time to put out all the big ones. And when the big ones are out, it becomes pretty easy because we just need to let the small ones grow to a decent size that we can get them out as well. That's the easiest way. I don't want to go through, I don't know how much substrate for hours and have the same outcome. Those are the Panda Kings. There is not a lot inside here. Here is one. Going to put it right in the other Panda King box. Because that's the same, that was the first box we selected. As you can see, there is just a need for a bit of moss moisture. I already gone through the substrate twice, but there are still pandas inside. Filling up the calcium. And that's it again. That's the fun part. Those boxes are pretty fast maintained now. Here we have Armadillo officinalis maraca. Same thing, most of the isopods are out, still babies left, that's why the box is still running, and in 2, 3, 4 months we need to go through the whole substrate. There already is a little isopod. We need to go through the whole substrate and get the babies out when they are bigger. Here as well, we leave it. As you can see, there is a lot you can get out now. But since they are growing so slow, you can wait a few months. And that makes it pretty easy to clean them up or to clean the box out. And here is another pruinosis box. Also already put animals out of there. And that's the next project, the pruinosis to clean out. Like we said, as you can see here also, not a lot of animals inside. That's not because anything died off or something. That's just because we took the animals out for the expo and we will clear that box out and put them in the already new box, or we need to put some boxes together, so the remains, and just clean out and set up new ones. No, that's just a stick. Water. And we're through with these boxes as well. Easy going. Now just a little Tetris or Jenga game. Those are back there. Those are down there. Oops. And here we have another mixed pruinosis box. This one gets sieved through now, and we need to get rid of this box. It is not made for these conditions here. There are plenty of isopods inside, but they are buried this deep, about an inch or 2.5 centimeters under the substrate. As you can see how long it takes until the first layer takes up the water or soaks up the water. This box is not made for these conditions here. So if you want a pruinosis mix box and you are located somewhere in Europe, feel free to contact. And once again, done. So we are pretty through with the ones on the ground here. So, oh, don't forget the dwarf whites. Spraying them. And let's see how this works. Does it already work? Yeah, here we have the pots. There is one. There is one. So now they start to come out. So just more moisture. We need that. We have pretty dry conditions here, and we don't feed them too much. But this, ooh, I'm crazy. This dwarf whites are one of the best ideas we ever had, I would say. We sold, at the expo, we sold so many pruinoses as cleanup crew. And with the dwarf whites, you have an invisible cleanup crew. Next, Once again, Porcellia Levi's, orange ones, those are the split up boxes. I made it pretty easy for myself when I picked out the animals for the boxes for the expo. I always made 5 boxes for the expo, so 50 pieces, and then I took 50 pieces inside one of these boxes. It was basically a double split up, and with the ones we returned, what wasn't very much, we filled up the boxes. That's why it looks a bit messy. But once again, about 150 animals inside each box. And pretty good starting colonies. Next one should be the same, of course. Also a bit over 100 pieces inside. Or 150, I really don't remember. And I didn't write it down. Of course not. Who would do that? And as always, that's just supplemental food. They feed off the leaf litter, the white rotten wood, the moss. It really is just supplemental. It's like giving a dog treats. Shoop, 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 shoop. And here we have officinalis you can actually see. Those are so cool, those big tanks that can roll up to a perfect ball. They were pretty interested in them at the expo, so was running very good. In general, isopods were not so much on the expo. It was pretty spider heavy. I mean, there were isopods. As always, Georgi Firm had some with him. That's where we bought ours. Then I think there were 2 or 3 other people who had isopods. Mom's Spider Home had isopods. We had isopods, of course. And there was another stand with isopods, or another table. But I was just slandering by there, or walking slowly by there, because I don't know, it wasn't very inviting for me. But that's just a personal opinion. But we were pretty spider heavy. We really were pretty spider heavy. And I think everybody saw that. And there were a lot of pretty cool spiders. And by the way, here you can see a little isopod munching calcium. What a cool shot. Yes, of course, I can see it. And guys, and girls, of course, as always, a question for you. As you know, or as a lot of you know, here we now have, first prognosis. As you know, we're doing a lot of different inverts, which includes tarantulas and real spiders. And I know a lot of you are here for the isopods. So my plan is to reserved. I don't know if I ever said that in a video, but my plan is to reserve the Saturdays for Isopod and Isopod related content like millipedes. I know, not related, but both are primary decomposers, so much more related than tarantulas. And I will do the tarantula, scolopender, and predatory stuff mostly on Wednesdays. And as always, I try to label it as good as possible. So the ones who are afraid of spiders or don't want to see them can avoid it. Please tell me in the comments if that's a good idea and if it already helps you, if you don't want to see spider content, if my labeling already is good, or should we make it more visible? That's something you need to tell me. So hit it down in the comments. Let me know what's your opinion on it. Oh, and there's another thing we need to talk about. I mean, next week I will show you this, but now we can talk about it. Oh, how many food is here inside? I'm pretty sure that's leftover food. And here is everything good at the moment, but that's the next box we need to select out. That's happening in the next few days for sure. Come on. Just need to be concentrated on not throwing away baby pots. And I'll be back with the thing we need to talk about in a few seconds, I hope. Come on. Oh. When your fingers are sticky enough to pick the isopods up like this. We're nearly through, nearly through. Yeah, of course, there are 4 or 5. Come on, thanks. There is once again something we need to talk about, and it's stupidity by your host, Martin. What does that mean? Pretty simple. We showed you the snails we bought at the expo. And while we was filming the unboxing, I already noticed that there is something wrong with the shells, but I didn't mention it because I haven't looked it up close and I didn't want to do it on camera. And after the video, we already get a response. Thank you, Madeleine. I swear we answered the Facebook message. We're just so busy at the moment, we forgot about it. And said that there is a problem with the shells. So, yeah, there is a big problem with the shells. There is a significant difference. I am missing the right words in English. It's a building thing on the shells. I will show it to you next Saturday. But how could that happen? Pretty simple. There was a guy running around at the expo on his first expo since 10 years and didn't watch or didn't overlook what he was buying. Pretty simple. So, guys, if you're buying animals on an expo, watch out and don't be too excited. Look at the animals. open the box. That's always my thing. I'm not a big fan of opening boxes on expos. Never was. I know with isopods or something, that's not a big deal. But as some of you may know or may have noticed, because I mentioned it already, I think, I'm coming from the reptile breeding and keeping. And there it is a problem if you open up boxes on expos, because most of them are pretty fast, because most of the sellers, at least it was back then, are using lamps that produce a lot of heat. And so this animal, a reptile, needs temperature to get to full activity. And if you give it temperature at an expo for full activity and you open a box, it can happen that this animal is straight away shooting out of the box, because it can and it is active. So opening reptile boxes, in my opinion, is a big no-go, especially when it comes to lizards, snakes. Yeah, you can do that, but what is missing, I think? So that's the reason I have a problem with opening boxes, and I should do it, because buying, I will not say sick animals, I would say an animal with a problem you have to overwatch and look at. Yeah, it's always not so much fun. But to the defense of the seller, they were pretty cheap. So, yeah. Yeah, no, but yeah. So much for that. And once again, thanks, Madeleine, for contacting us and telling us that there is something wrong with the snails. Appreciate that much. That a lot. Wow. Now I'm start to mixing up words. Oh, and by the way, once again, prognosis, the Oreo crumble mix box. Did I mention that we did Amadillidium maculatum before? I think, or right? I hope this talking besides is more interesting for you than the classical carrot, protein, calcium. Here we have the dairy cows. That's a split up box. And I would say we had a lot of dairy cows with us at the expo, and we also brought some back home. I would say there are about 200 animals in each box. But it's dairy cows. They are breeding like crazy. So that's just a short period of time. I think we do more calcium. And we need to crush eggshells again. Oops. I'm throwing around carrots. And I think both of these boxes are also dairy cows. Yes. Also split up box. The carrots look that fresh because we fed them after the expo with leftover carrots in the expo boxes. Also about 200 pieces inside. Pretty cool when it's not that overcrowded. What are you? Oh, Of course. What else? And the next box is the one we selected out from. There are still plenty of pots inside, but in reality it's empty again how it looked before. So this is also the box we need to go through, split up the rest of the animals, and wait until the really small ones are bigger. So in reality, all of the boxes we show you today are at least 4 where we're just waiting for the babies to grow big enough to sort them out easy. I don't want to go with a paintbrush and how do you call the glass that makes things bigger? You know what I mean. At least I hope so. Oops. And here we go again. Well, that's not the best way to put them out. It's better to take all 4 boxes out. Let's empty it out completely, makes it easier and no, I don't think it makes it faster, but easier. And here we have the Christamotylidium muricatum. Still here, or can I take it out? Come on. Yep, and it's the right time because it starts to mold. Yes. I don't think we will see any animals here. What's this not? Because they are pretty small and there are about 20 inside here. Oh, damn. I think there was one. Here we have one. Little spikies. Oh, not really, but you know what I mean. A little spray on one side. That's enough. Another piece of carrot. Done. Done. One of our newbies. Then here we have, what's it? Ah, Panda Kings. Panda Kings. Panda Kings. A lot of Panda Kings. Gentle peck. It's really a lot of Panda Kings. Leaves are all over here, so I don't need to fill up anything. There is a lot of substrate inside because we made substrate boxes for the Expo for the Panda Kings. I'm not a big fan of some cotton pads or something. Just don't like it very much. Panda Kings, once again. Second selection box. And, ooh. Those little fellas are running up here where it's a little bit of condensation. And they are everywhere, literally everywhere. Checking the paintbrush. And once again, Panda Kings. And here are a lot of babies inside. And guys, if you flip around your boxes and you're putting carrots out, always freeze it before you throw it away, because you don't want to accidentally throw different species of or non-native species of isopods into your environment. And here we have Armadillidium San Lucia. Those are the jelly beans. They came in all different colors. Or they come in all different colors. Here is a pretty red one. Here is a white one or a yellow one, a small one. And I can spot a dark one over there. So all kind of coloration. Let's see. I don't want to flip it because of those. And no, you see more outside than underneath the bark. Here is one running now. Also pretty cool jelly beans. Guys, I'm not sure, but are we faster than normally? Because the next tower is done. And here we have the Armadillidium palasi orange. Here are animals everywhere. I already like them. This is one of the Expo species we got ourselves from Georgi. I changed it, come on. Yeah, time for a change. As always with fresh boxes, there is mold, but there should be springtails inside. So they should get rid of the mold. And here we have the Armadillidium klugi Lake Scutari. Here is one. Let's see if a bug flip is interesting. Ah, yeah, here. Oh, guys, look at this. We have Lake Scutari babies. And what a load of babies. Yes, once again, breeding success. I mean, from the isopods, not from us. We just put the isopods in a box. I have no idea what it was, but I didn't like it. How cool is that? So let's flip them back. Maybe you have seen it. There was an isopod without a red skirt. And there is a baby. Oh, there is here. I think here is the one without the red skirt. One. Or just a tiny little red skirt. So color variations appear here as well. Now it's time for a tiny bit of protein. Calcium is already in there. I'm not sure if I already sprayed. And as most non-tropical pots, the rest of the bin stays dry. There is enough moisture inside with the moss, and the evaporation is also a thing, so we have moisture in the whole box. And here we have, oh my god, they are getting bigger, how cool. This is Porcelionitis Porcellio bolivari, yellow ghosts. There's a piece of plastic inside here. No. Oh, yes. Fast little fellas. And there are already babies inside here again. Here is one. Oh, and here is one. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Once again, just a little bit of carrot, and since there are babies inside, just a little bit of protein. They are not that protein hungry. Regular red mold. But now how do I do that? Would you please? Thank you. Now I need my lost paintbrush, and no way. Not like this. Okay, I will get it like this. Maybe we do a half now and a half next time. And some moss. They are pretty good moss eaters. And you always need to look out to not touch them or push them or anything. They are so soft-bodied. I just move them with a paintbrush. Very gentle, very slowly. So taking them out or making a box of them always takes a lot of time. But it's absolutely worth it. They are one of the giant ones and they are so cool. And here we have the expansos. Also flat ones, big ones. Watering the moss. Once again, 4 on the first look. I hope they are not dying off. With this giant species, we're not that lucky. In reality, we managed it to bring the Bolivari through, but we have them since a year now. And we had one clutch of babies. They are now growing to major size. And now is the next generation undergoing. But in reality, that's pretty slow. And we're pretty low in numbers. First this away. Careful. Here we have the Black Panda Kings. Oh yes, it worked. It worked, guys. Look at this. We threw in 3 Black Pandas and there are a lot more. Breeding project success. But let me guess, where is it here? What I'm doing here, guys, is I'm taking out the normal colored one and put it in a normal colored Panda King box. because we don't want to mix up the genes again. Where do we have a Panda King? There. This is the biggest part, or I wanted to say this is the biggest part of the selecting process, but it is the selecting process. So, but that's really, really, really cool. Haven't thought about it. Oh, sorry. Splashed Andrea with water. Was not intentional, I swear. Now a tiny bit of protein. Once again, don't overdose protein, guys. This molds so ugly. Next are our springtails, the orange ones. They are here everywhere, and they are pretty cool. And I just spray them with the spraying bottle. I'm afraid to squish them when there is a splash from the squish bottle. And once again, we're doing a little bit of carrot. And they work, so they breed. I think they breed. It's springtails. They have to work. Here we have, once again, Oreo crumble heads and white heads. I don't spray this box at all. There is enough moisture. Carrots, protein. And here we have Oreo crumbles and a whiteout inside. So normally you would select out everything that isn't the color you want, but actually we need to wait until the next generation for getting the results we are looking for. And then we can start selecting. Once again, that's a big risk because the box is easy overcrowded. And here are the Porcelius spinicornis, the ones we collected wild outside. And there are definitely high yellows inside. That's also a breeding project. Here you can see a good difference between the high yellows and the normal colored ones. So we have a breeding project here as well. But we need to take our time for such things. We cannot rush it. That would be the same with the Bruin noses, and then there are 20 boxes with animals inside, or the same species, and not proper selected. I saw one before. Here is an Armadillidium nasatum. Thanks. I think that's not one of the peachy ones. That's one of the wild colored ones. There are some peachy ones. Oh, and I already saw a baby. Here is a baby running around. Oh, not one baby. Look at this. Yep, next species that is breeding. How cool is that? Sorry. And once again, breeding project inside, because there are some peach nasatums inside, or peachy looking nasatums. So once again, it's a selection thing. And babies, so little bit of protein as well. This is always the hardest part. But this will make it easy, I think. Oh yes, it does. Surprise. We're putting this back up again, because if I don't do it now, it's 100% for sure I forgot it. Forget it. So now, oops, not that easy to reach. Yep. Slowly, slowly, cool thing. One is not that much. We start with the Cuberries white shark. Maybe we can find an animal. Here, two. Also 10 animals inside. We hope they're breeding pretty soon. But let's be real, they are so small. If they have already bred, we wouldn't notice it that fast. That's the difference to the other species, or to the bigger species. You see much faster if they breed or not. Once again, Cuberries. Oh, small piece of carrot. And I don't put in protein because it will mold for sure. Let's see if we see something here. Yeah, I already see an isopod. Here and here. Guys, that's Drogodilo Spät's Sunset Queen. One of the species we got from the Expo. Once again, thanks Kiragi. They are so cool. They were Cuberries until a reversion a few years ago, not that long as I know. But don't nail me on that, I'm not sure if that's 100% right. Sorry. Was just my hand in the camera, I think. So those are, or this is one of the pretty cool new species. We are pretty Cuberries or tropical isopod heavy this time, and I think this will continue for some time. And guys, we're down to 2. And now I'm pretty curious if we can find something. Those are our little rubber duckies. Normally near the food. No duck is inside. Come on. Let's give a spray. I'm pretty sure they're inside the moss or inside the substrate. Nothing to flip here. Yes, of course, we didn't get any good pieces of cork bark at the expo. Maybe here. I don't think we can show you duckies this time. Last time it worked. But this time, So sorry for that. Come on. Thanks. And we have Cuberis Spätz white side. Here we go. And they also already a breeding species. That wasn't very intelligent, my friend. Okay, that's much more smart. I think here is another one. Oh, that's a baby, I think. No, that's a leaf. No babies here. And this is also one of the species we got from the Expo. Also no babies up on here, that's pretty good. So guys, that was the last bin. We're through with the whole isopod feeding. I have no idea how long we took. As always, bins and some other stuff is linked down in the description. And of course, this is a commercial. We get a small commission if you buy something, but it's not more expensive for you, so the price stays the same. I think I never did that before when I tried to break up a carrot. Perfect round piece. And with that being said, as always, thanks for watching. I think it is already a long time once again. Let me please know if you like this style of video where I talk about some other things besides what I'm doing. And if I talk too fast or too slow, can you understand me? Is my English good enough? I think so. Nothing more to say besides watch the video on Wednesday, the centipede rehousing. It will be really cool. And that's not a spider, it's a centipede. Wish you all the best. See you in 3 days. And bye-bye. See you in the universe.